Hey there, and welcome to the Contentment Creator Podcast, the show designed especially for creative entrepreneurs just like you who are committed to a beautiful life that's rooted in courage and contentment, and that's blooming with creativity and prosperity. I'm your host, Ellen Broen, a certified life coach, a singer, a mother, and a lover of alliteration, dogs, and deep conversation. This show is designed to become a part of your daily routine to help you, fellow contentment creator, dig deep to clarify your life vision, catalyze your creative flow, and fuel your entrepreneurial fire in just a few inspiring minutes each day. Each Monday, we talk about conscious living, and this month, we're focusing on the unique path to growth that pregnancy and postpartum offers us creators. Today's episode is all about pregnancy as my path to self-growth, moving through rage to conscious motherhood. There's a myth I used to believe that the real transformation would start once I became a mother. That something seismic would happen the moment I held my baby, that I'd be reborn in an instant. But what I've learned, and what I want to offer today, is that the becoming started long before I gave birth. This episode is a very personal one for me. It's about pregnancy as a path to self-growth, not just biologically, but spiritually, emotionally, generationally. Because for me, preparing to become a mother meant more than choosing baby gear and prepping a nursery. It meant facing the parts of myself I didn't want to pass on. 2 years before I got pregnant, I made a commitment to myself. If I was going to become a parent, I wanted to break some cycles, not just hope they wouldn't repeat. So I dove into the deeper work. I started with my rage. That sounds kind of intense, right? But rage was the emotion I had learned to suppress the most as a girl, as a woman, as someone socialized to be good and kind. Rage had become this deeply internalized thing, quiet, compressed, often turned inward. But underneath it was power, a voice, a signal that something mattered. So I began therapy. I focused specifically on ancestral and embodied rage because I didn't want to unconsciously hand it down. I didn't want to carry resentment in my tone or bitterness in my parenting. I wanted to create space between what I inherited and what I would pass forward. And here's something I think more people need to hear. Self-regulation is not just a parenting tool. It's a reparenting tool. I wasn't taught emotional regulation as a child. I was taught performance, perfectionism, and control. So learning to be with my body, my nervous system, my triggers, that was its own rebirth. I also knew that in order to parent with the kind of presence and gentleness I hoped for, I'd need a partner who was in alignment with that vision. So I brought these conversations into my marriage long before a child entered the picture. We asked really hard questions. Who do we want to be as parents? What are we afraid of repeating? How will we support each other when things get really hard? We used the book Project Relationship by Dr. Julie Hamilton and The Conscious Parent by Dr. Shefali as starting points. We went to therapy. We didn't wait for a crisis to learn how to talk about our differences. That intentionality became the foundation that we build on. And then there was the body. Pregnancy is a spiritual experience, but it's also incredibly physical. I wanted my body to be a safe and nourishing home for the child who would grow inside me. So I changed how I cared for myself. I read It Starts with the Egg and Real Food for Pregnancy. I took the classes, and I didn't do it perfectly, but I did do it purposefully. I wasn't just growing a baby, I was growing into a mother. And that brings me to this. Conscious motherhood doesn't begin with a birth plan. It begins with a self-honoring plan. Because the more regulated, resourced, and real I could be with myself, the more capacity I would have to offer that to my child. If you're listening to this and you're on the path toward motherhood, or even just considering it someday, I want you to know your healing matters. Not because you need to be perfect, not because you'll ever arrive fully healed, but because tending to your own becoming is the most sacred preparation you can do. You are the soil, and every seed you plant now, in your body, in your relationships, in your own inner world, will shape what grows next. So maybe your journey looks different than mine, but I hope this reminds you your growth is the preparation. Your healing is the inheritance. Your intention is the legacy. Let this be a reminder that conscious motherhood begins long before a baby arrives. It begins with how we choose to meet ourselves, in truth, in tenderness, and in readiness for something bigger than we've ever held. I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode in this series, all about crafting the vision of your birth and surrendering to the reality of it, as well as my birth and postpartum story. Thank you for being here with me and holding my story with me today. I hope to see you here again tomorrow. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share the love by sending it to someone you know it would support and by leaving reviews and comments. It would truly mean the world to me to hear from you and to support those you care about. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a day and join me in my mission to help a world full of content creators become a world of contentment creators.